in the building.
Hi, it's Christine Bar. Hey, what's up? This is JC. And this is Brandon Boyd for the best Incubus. This is DJ.
I don't know what you mean, but I mean something. Listen! Yeah, it's time for us to.
You're listening to Everton TV and radio.
In this show.
You are listening to Everton.
Oh yeah, the show. Today's Wednesday. Let's get it show on the road. What I say is not play time, serious time. Alright guys, good morning and welcome to the Sports Buffet on Elevator TV radio. My name is Idafi Matthew, so you love to come in the Elevator One Sports. It's a good time to be alive. I always say that, be grateful for the life that you have because tomorrow is really not promised. And as far as your life, do something that would be remembered. And somebody sent me a message and said, why you always saying it's like you're going to die tomorrow? No, I'm not saying that. But reality is that happens, okay? So you wake up one morning, be grateful for the day that you've been given and live your life like you're grateful. You know how when you're grateful, you know how you behave. Okay, live your life like you're grateful. Live your life and stop worrying about the people who don't like you, the people who hate you, the people who are insulting you, the people who are calling you names. Because listen, they would always do that. You always have that. Now, if you bother too much about that, you will forget to be grateful for the people who are behind you, who support you, who believe in you, who takes care of you, who help you to pursue your dream, like who motivate you, inspire you, and drag you across the finishing line when your body does not want you to go through. So always be grateful for those people. And I do believe that if you spend enough time being grateful for the people that God puts in your life to make your life better, you will forget every and anybody who is not nice to you. That's my belief. I'm not trying to superimpose my belief on you people. I'm not trying to force you people to, how do I put it now, to think the way I think, but this is how I always see it, right? If you focus on those people, on the negative things in your life, you would fail to be grateful for the positive things you have. But then if you focus on a lot of the positive things in your life, you just might live through and get past all of the negative things in your life. It's not easy, okay? I understand that, especially if you live in a country like Nigeria where the challenges is, my God, why have that forsaken me? That's how Nigeria is. Nigeria makes you want to talk like Jesus Christ on the cross of Calvary. Eloho, Tivo Wayara. That's what Jesus said on the cross. Eli, Sabata Mantani. Oh God, that is bad. These kids will not kill us. Eli, Lamat Sabatani. I was like, what's going on? Come on, guys, what's going on here? Okay, but it's one of those things that you just have to live through and tell yourself, okay, this is life, right? But sports is here. Biggest news that I heard that just got me smiling was Chelsea are no longer interested in signing Gordon. And they must push it. But the one that was exciting the most is they are also no longer interested in signing Fofana, Wesley Fofana. And this is, I know Chelsea fans listening, if you're hating on us, no. This is not me hating on Chelsea. This is me just practically saying there are certain price tag that they will put on players, and you'll be like, for what? I mean, what's the reason for this? This is way over the top, right? And that's exactly what I saw with the whole Fofana for 85 million deal. I don't think it made sense, and it was good to see the news that Chelsea are not going for him anymore. Does that weaken Chelsea? I also think that Chelsea have a lot of players in their fold that is just as good as Fofana, that if they put the team proper, they'll get it. And then there are also a lot of other players in the market that can take care of that position for now and hold the fort till maybe probably they get a better player. They could go to Europe, to other countries and go get players below that price, and they will come and perform well. I mean, they used to go to Portugal to go get people like them Cavallo and they come in and they put their life on the line. I don't think that Wesley Fofana is the kind of player that would make Chelsea now go to the level of what they used to have with John Terry, Carvalho, and the rest of them. That's my opinion anyway. I might be wrong about it, but that's just what I thought. So when the story came that they went in for a third bid of 70 million, and Leicester was still saying, no, the money is not good enough. If it is not 85 million, we're not taking. I mean, it seems like it's a precluded, like they've decided, okay, we're not going to sell him, but we'll put a price that nobody will want to buy. That's the way the deal is, because I understand how that player could be worth that amount of money, but hey, the football market is a crazy market and people do all sort of things. Dangerous to say good morning. Good morning, bros. Hope you feel better now. Yes, but I still have this banging one-sided headache anyway. I don't know. Everybody says I should go check my blood pressure. I've done that. And it says, yeah, okay, everything is fine. You know, when they tell you that everything is fine, and you know that your head is killing you, like, is that you are not checking this thing well, or the thing is not reading well, the thing is faulty. But yeah, you wanna have a good result and then feel well. Okay, there's a difference between the positive result and you feeling well. Okay, so that's where it's a little bit hooked up. Manchester United assist talk with the elephant in the room. Martin Samuel had this to say on the Daily Mail. He said the Cristiano Ronaldo marriage is over, but it's United who want the divorce. For arguably the first time in his career, his club looks better without him after steering Liverpool win. Okay, now why did it take over? Why is it that when I say something, it take over a year for people to see it? Like, is it that I have alien eyes or I see the future and people see the present? I don't understand. I have been saying this thing since forever. Okay, now all of a sudden, all the people that used to jump on his back and say he's the best thing that ever happened, now realize that it's not good enough. Okay, well, thank God for that. Reveal: Eric Ten Hag joined Man United stars in grueling 8.5 mile run he ordered as punishment for Brentford trashing with the move. Okay, helping him gain respect and win over players unconvinced by his method ahead of surprise win over Liverpool. I don't think that Man United players even have the right to demand respect from anybody. Bunch of failures, losers, wobbling team, seeking respect from a coach who just won the Dutch league. What's wrong with you? When was the last time these people won anything? Well, hey, life is life. Well, let's not forget that Bruno Lage, I've admit, it's normal that Wolves' best players are attracting interest from rival club, but insists that Arsenal have not made a bid for £50 million rated forward Pedro Neto. Yeah, £50 million. Arsenal, £50 million. Wow. Now, well, how much you buy Jesus? Say, oh, Jesus, so you carry Gabriel follow body. To come and rescue Arsenal with his blood and with his power, with his skill and his ability. How much am I? Pedro Neto, that small boy like fly on the wall. I have 50 million. But I didn't respect God though. I mean, if now we move here, God just respect her for he give size. Yeah. Igbo people say Otua Kachine Kaima Agidigba. You know, these people that have respect. They call him money and they like say Papa what can give people. So put us now, you want to put us now in the financial fair play mess. I mean, Thunder would. No, Thunder, wait, go sit that. Don't go and do warm up now. Sit that. Well, on transfer gist, I'll give you the gist, the rumors and all the stories that are going on. But Leicester reject another bid from Chelsea for Wesley Fofana, while Callum Hudson-Odoi closes in on a loan move to Bayer Leverkusen. So Chelsea are shelling out players, which is good, but they're not replacing them. And the ones that they want to buy, the ones that they show interest in, whether it's Frenkie de Jong, whether it's Kunde, whether it's Brother Kunle, or whether it's Ufoma Fofana, all of these players, they're just not coming. Okay, they're putting their price up there, and I know why this is like this. When Roman Abramovich came to Chelsea with his billions, they started buying players over the top. So now that they have a new billionaire who also bought the club over the top, let's not forget that Chelsea was not worth more than 2.5 billion, but eventually somebody bought it for almost 5 billion. They're thinking, okay, if you have this kind of money to spend, who would extract that kind of money from you? That's just the way it is going right now. I won't say it's unfair. I mean, it's business trick. If you come to me that you want to buy my car and I'm not really interested in selling, I'll tell you 20 million. My car is not worth more than £1 million. And if you insist on buying it for 20 million, I did not rob you. It's just what it is. 20 million can I, decide to revamp my studio as it is right now, buy 2 more cars, maybe buy 1 bus, 20 million. I thought 20 million, like say, not the Nigeria economy I did. You $20 million that we're talking here, or 20 million naira. Okay, I'll buy 1 cash and then put some in savings, and then we keep the life going like that. Okay, Jurgen Klopp is no longer talking, but Brendan Rodgers confirmed Leicester have rejected another bid from Chelsea for Wesley Fofana, thought to be worth 70 million, as he blasts defender for missing training and banishes him to under 23s to control any distractions surrounding his future. Now, this is a question I want to ask, please. This is where my question comes in. This is becoming a routine, stupid behavior. Pardon my language. Every time there's a problem, go to under 23. Is that the only way to go? Is that the only way to go in football? And everybody just know that after all, you think it's like when a father is always flogging a child. If they want to do something, they're not afraid anymore. There's no conscience that I forget, I only flog me. I just said to my mind do this thing, I do a bad where even if they're from my embarrass and finish. The worst thing they would do not to flog me. That's what I think about this who go to under 23 and train. It doesn't bother anybody anymore because the more you send them to under 23, 9 out of 10 players that are banished under 23 end up getting sold. So the player will still get sold. You don't benefit anything, nothing happens, and the price might even go down. Okay? Aubameyang, go to under 23. Mesut Ozil, go to under 23. These are what's wrong with coaches under 23? Is that the new go-to plan? Well, I don't know. Let's move further down the road. Everton don't need to catch in on 21-year-old star Anthony Gordon. They don't need to, but they might want to. Okay? There's always a difference between need and want. Insists boss Frank Lampard with Chelsea willing to pay up to 80 million. 60 million, and the winger asking to leave his boyhood club. Now, this is something that I like to look at from a different perspective. Is Frank Lampard speaking the minds of the owners? Because there's no way anybody would put up 60 million for Gordon and you will turn it down. That's one. Even if you don't have debt to pay, like Chelsea now, they don't have debt. They are on even Stevens. There's no debt. There is no profit. Just starting afresh, so they don't have financial fair play worries. Okay, they still have like 3 to 4 years before financial fair play worries will come in. But everything that is dealing with financial problem, the financial situation now, current matter, so the way their bank statement they read in debit, they give them 60 million that will bring life to even the dead men in Merseyside. You say, man, they're not take out. Well, the blue half of the blue half. I don't know. But let's just keep our minds crossed and see. So let's go to Liverpool and see what Dominic King has got to say. It says slow start, Trent Alexander-Arnold in trouble, Virgil van Dijk deep in form. Liverpool have problems to solve before they can kickstart their stuttering campaign. What do you think is wrong with Liverpool, guys? I mean, yesterday, Manuel Sebastian was yapping about Liverpool, this one midfield, players not staying fit, transfer window not properly done, blah 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 blah. But I need to hear from you guys. But let's not forget that in the final round of the UEFA Champions League qualification, Victoria Plzen, they beat Karabakh. They came from behind to beat. They came from one goal down to beat Karabakh 2-1. All those come from behind and they put suggestion in people's mind. Benfica were not playing at all. Denmark, they went away and drew 0-0. They came back. I think they dropped 2-2. Sorry, they came back home and let Denmark have know who's landlord in this matter. In this conversation, who's the boss? And it was 3-0. And Resta Belgrade drew 2-2 with Haifa. And so as it is, I don't know how to put it. There's no way it goes again in this football. First leg was 0-0. Portland United in the FA Cup beat Shokam Rangers 3-1. Graham beat Lincoln United 5-1. I'm somebody asking me, why am I talking about FA Cup? I'm going to explain that to you. Stone Old All beat Wolf Casuals 2-1. And Bolton lost at home to Congleton 4-1. Leeds lost at home 5-4 to backing. That's dog that is backing. Okay. Now let me explain why I brought this up in this conversation. In the last 5, 6, 7, or 8 years, we've had problems with the Nigerian FA Cup, especially when I tell you that came up in the last 5 years. It's even the worst. The timing is always wrong, affecting the team that qualifies on the continent. The Premier League just started. This is match day 3, and in England, they're already playing the FA Cup. There are 96 clubs in England. 96 clubs. In Lagos alone, you have more than 96 clubs. You have about 105 clubs in Lagos alone playing in Lagos State FA Cup. If the English can be so intelligent, and it's simple thing, to arrange the FA Cup, now they're dealing with the preliminaries, eliminating those small teams that will eventually now graduate to go and join the main teams that are playing on the other level from the third round. Why don't we structure our FA Cup like this? Because at state level, there is absolutely no competition until towards the end. So why don't we get all the state representatives ready so we know that once the time for the the National FA Cup comes, there will be no distraction. Why wait till when you know? Okay, why wait? Because I remember when we were growing up, when we played FA Cup, maybe as a player will be signed to football club or coach, or probably even in Port Harcourt with Chaparros or all the teams that youth teams that we played for, or Globestar Football Club. FA Cup always starts early so that you give the teams that are going national a chance. Don't forget that most of the teams that will qualify for the FA Cup, some of them are youth clubs, some of them are amateur clubs. They need to qualify pretty early, gather their fund for traveling. There's no sponsor and all that. But these days we just seem to be very, very nonchalant, non-committer, don't even care. The National FA Cup has almost ended. This weekend is when Lagos State FA Cup finals will be played. Come on. And the people that are running this whole business are the people that wants to become NFL president tomorrow. How do we have confidence in, this kind of people can even run our football? They have a good know-how, a good knowledge of how to run our football. These are some of the things that bothers me a whole lot. And when people say, you should be talking about the NFF election, I'm like, I'm not going to talk about an election of a bunch of people who don't know their left from the right, who just want to be there for, one, the opportunity to travel. Because if you take away this football opportunity for them, they don't really have a business that can give them money, a thriving business. They don't have a thriving business. Two, that opportunity to go for FIFA event, to go for CAF event, and then get that $10,000 allowance. You think that these guys are rich? They're not rich. Now that money, when they change out for Peru to change, it becomes very big. That's what they used to do on the flange on the O1 Bay. There's really no structural planning. There's no detailed plan. Say, okay, I want to become NFF president. Now, this is what I would do. If I don't meet this one, impeach me or kick me out of office. There's nobody. All what we've seen is people doing Twitter thread, people doing, all of a sudden, not become movie producer, doing short videos and all those crap that we see. Nobody really come out and say, okay, I have identified these are the key problems, right? These are the things that I would do. These are the commitment that I've made with XYZ people to fix Nigerian football. And within the first maybe 1 year, it will be rough because we're taking down the whole building and rebuild. So there'll be rubbles, there'll be ground zero. And after the 1 year, we'll go. But while doing this whole taking down the building, we'll make sure we qualify for the Nations Cup, which is key, because it is sacrosanct to the growth of the game in this space. For sponsors to keep our sponsors as well. There's nothing like that. At the youth level, we are taking our foot off the pedal and we're no longer making progress, both male and female. This is what I want and what we will do to change it. Nigeria have not had a CAF licensing course in the last 5 or 6 years. Just think about it. Ghana is just organizing a CAF C licensing course now in a few weeks. But we've not done that in the past 5, 6, or 7 years. Meanwhile, we are the giant of Africa. How are the giant of Africa when we're not training our coaches? Because no matter how you want to progress in sports, without properly training your coaches, you are just not making any progress. And the rest of the world are advancing scientifically. The rest of the world are advancing using technology, using data. Even people are going into nanotechnology. I was watching the Leeds versus Chelsea game, and I was like, okay, they still have GPS kits while playing league matches, because I guess the reason why is the coach of Leeds United, with that speed that those players are putting in, they still don't believe that the players are fit enough. That's also the reason why you would have an Eric Ten Hag go and run 8.5 miles with his players to prove to them that he's a lot more fitter. Even with his table head, he's a lot more fitter than the players. And they say that's how the players now earn his respect. My point here is, all these are the simple plans to put in. It's not enough to wear agbada and wear suit, babariga and all those crap. It doesn't change anything. But hey, Nigerian football is Nigerian football. People will do the things that they want to do, say the things that they want to say. The people that are even supposed to vote them in don't even know anything. TDJ says if the people know better, they'll do better. So conversely, if the people don't know better, Sadaka, I do. Well, let's bring the conversation to you guys. Let's not make it look like I'm just in the studio ranting and making noise. But let's pause and think. You know that I've looked across Nigerian sports, EFL, boxing, basketball, almost every sport, the head, the leadership, the board, they're not sabi anything. And see, people come for me with this one. There is not a board of any sporting federation in Nigeria. You don't have drug addicts, if you have failed people, you don't have clowns, dumb people who don't know anything. Then in football, which is my forte, my zone, the one that annoys me most is when they say ex-international should be given the job. And I'm like, fine, I don't have a problem because people always say that you hate ex-international. No, I don't. Most of them are my friends. But you see, the thing about life is you have to distinguish your sentiment from the reality. The reality of football is no longer a charity organization. It's not a blood donor anymore, right? Or probably a blood bank where everybody, or a sperm bank where everybody come and donate and go. It is now a business enterprise. And unfortunately, you cannot convince me that footballers who were unable to manage their finances as footballers, who were unable to manage their personal brands as footballers, will not be able to manage, because you can't be trekking and you're promising me a car. I won't listen to you. You can't be wearing rags and you're promising me, unless you are Kanye West, and you're promising me designer's clothes. Unless you're Kanye West, then I'll listen to you because, I mean, you have substance. But if you're not Kanye West, you can't be wearing rags. Like the madman in the junction. We don't even see mad people again these days. But the mad people that we used to see, you can't be walking out there, you promise me something. Unless you're Peter B, that mad people will give him security advice. I don't understand where you stand on that. So that's my position with the ex-international. Like the word hate is too heavy. People use that hate. No, I don't. But I don't see when you're a football player, you have the opportunity to walk into doors, sit in rooms, meet with people. How you exchange those contacts, what you do with those contacts works very well. I was saying something about Giorgio Pongue the other day. I said, listen, people talk about Giorgio Pongue like he's the numero uno, de facto biggest boy in African football, man. That's crap. That's crap. History always lie about people. The way they sit on that Balogun play shot and the ball bust his brother's belly and go at the back. Man, shut up. Giorgio is not all that. I told him, I adore him, I love him, he's Mr. George, blah, blah, blah. But it's not all that. Yeah. You know, the other day, I remember when I said Neymar is better than George Weah. Everybody, you can't say that. Oh, but Neymar is better than George Weah. Statistics and facts prove it. I'm not the one. George Weah is a center forward. He has not scored half the goals. He didn't score half the goals that Neymar scored as a white man. Neymar has never played as a center forward in life. You know, sir? So, if you remove Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo, Neymar clearly wins 5 Ballon d'Or. Because 5 times he was the next in line. So, those guys, just think about it like that. Suarez probably picked 2 or 3. So that's a different conversation. But I'm saying, how can George Weah be so all that? Liberia does not have one functional stadium. Are you saying that the friendship, the relationship he built from Monaco, Paris Saint-Germain, Chelsea, AC Milan, he's not built enough friends to say, guys, so I want to build a stadium in my country as a legacy for football. Please, I need you guys to help me use your own connect and everything and bring in a charity group that would help us build a stadium. Like, is that so hard to do? Okay, Nigerians will say, what God cannot do does not exist. Can George Weah not call on his friends to do something? But hey, I'm not saying that happened. But when you talk, that you are being rude, I'm not being against anybody. It's just that somebody sent me a message today to talk about the NFF election. And I'm like, what's there to talk about? The candidate, what's there to really talk about? Majority of the people that want to contest have been in this presidency, vice president, second vice president for the last 8 years. Gentlemen, let's be very honest here. It's like when Yomi Osibanjo came out and said, I want to continue where Buhari stopped. Man. You already know that you're going to hell now. This man is going to take us to hell. That man lies more than the devil. So what you're expecting? Like really? Or when Tinubu tells you, Emilio is my turn. Not because he wants to fix Nigeria, but it's his turn. Gratification is his retirement plan, right? And that's the kind of, you understand. That's the way the NFF thing is as well. What you guys didn't fix as a team, like to me, I look at you like you're on my team. You couldn't give me this idea for us to make it work. And you're not going to be the president. I'll work from now to tomorrow to make sure I'll do like Bill Clinton and I go. I'll make sure you don't become the president. Nah, wait. You're gonna be doing some environmental work somewhere, environmental sanitation, but you never become the president. That's just what it is. Chelsea winger Callum Hudson-Odoi closes in on a loan move to Bayer Leverkusen as the Stamford Bridge chief holds advanced talk with the German club over a season-long loan. And this is a player, potential-wise, is good, but somehow I keep wondering why he's not clicking. You know what makes football work is how consistent you can play. It's not a question of talent. That talent needs to be on the plate every week. How come this guy is not putting this performance on the plate every week? That's the thing that I bother about. Okay, let me bring something that might not go well with some people. The food is disgusting. The women look like porcelain. I just told him, darling, I want to kill myself. It's nighttime at 2 p.m. Angel Di Maria's wife opened up on their Manchester nightmare and admit he only joined United for the money. So you know that's Angel Di Maria's wife coming out to tell the true story of what happened with that move. Manchester United star were spotted into action against Liverpool by Erik ten Hag's bold call to drop Cristiano Ronaldo and Harry Maguire, as the new boss showed he was prepared to be brutally ruthless. I love people like that because that's me. I'm ruthless, man. If you know me, you know that. Yeah, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang proposed move to Chelsea from Barcelona hits a stumbling block, as the two clubs are yet to reach an agreement on a transfer fee, with the forward 25.3 million price tag creating issues. Now, this is why I have a problem with Chelsea. You're willing to pay 70 million for Wesley Fofana. You're willing to pay 60 million for Anthony Gordon, players that will not provide any remedies to today's problem, that might not be there next season, that you might end up selling on loan, but you can't pay less than 25 million for less than 26 million for Pierre-Emerick as a solution to your goal. And when you look at your team, the only problem man in the goal area, there are people like Raheem Sterling with feet. So Raheem Sterling holds the line, gets the ball, he's looking for somebody, he can't find him because somehow Kai Havertz is hiding, right, in the midst of the sea, in the Red Sea. He's trying to part the Red Sea, but he can't, of the opposition. And you need an Obama. You can't pay that money. Bolly, it's like you're acting Bollywood movie for us. I don't know, but it doesn't look the way they are saying it. Oh, they have everything to do. Martin Keown, former Arsenal Legbere defender, used to be good, and he became Legbere. He forgot his retirement clock and he embarrassed us a lot of time. David Igea saw sense and Michael Colum to beat the Jurgen Klopp press, as Man United learned from Brentford mistake to defeat Liverpool. We can say all these things that we want to say, but let's not forget that Liverpool are really not doing well, because on the day, and this is where Man United fans will hate me, on the day, the second half of that game, the previous Liverpool would have scored 5 goals, but let's just leave it like that. If Man United play like this against, say, Leeds United, at least play the way they played against Chelsea, Man United will collect to, if you don't have for their body, I just talk. So Man United fans don't get your hopes all high up on the mountain, and then tomorrow again you start shouting Glazer. When Sergio Aguero scored, my dad and I were running around the living room screaming, "It was mad!" Erling Haaland on how City's crazy 2012 glory fired his Premier League title dream. Now he wants to win the Premier League, but he's been playing like a Legbero. Let's not lie, since he came, even though we're using Chelsea and Liverpool and Man U matter to forget him, this brother's been playing like a Libero, playing like a Cola. This is not the, this is a case of what I ordered versus what I got to Erling Haaland. This is not what we ordered for, but the jury is still going to be quiet on you. So Vicky on Instagram, he said, some journalists said that the crops of personality contesting for the NFF is rich with experience. I ask, what else are they bringing new, since they have been part and parcel of the system? You go and ask those journalists, because I cannot speak on their behalf. They say they are rich. Maybe they are their account officer. They work in experience bank, so they know what is in their bank. So go and ask them, don't come and be bringing me into this conversation. But I know that there's nobody in that field, and this means that I'll be blacklisted, but I don't care. I'll be blacklisted. There's nobody in that field of people contesting for the NFF election right now that would improve Nigerian football. I'll bet my life on that one. Maybe it's too risky, but there's nobody on that field. Maybe Chris Merua, but Chris Merua does not have the money to do that kind of election. So let's watch and see what happens. Anybody that comes in, guys, don't raise your hope. It's still going to be the same bureaucratic nonsense, people sitting in their house, responding to memo, not understanding the dynamics of getting sponsors, not understanding the dynamics of building bridges and really making things happen. People just staying on their own and thinking Nigerian football will just manufacture wings and grow and excel. Watch and see. Just watch and see. Extra Mendez say, can we get the list of those contesting for the NFF president? I mean, that list is out every day now. Just type for Google, I beg. I don't get, but I know that there's Shea Akiwumi there. There is Shea Akiwumi, Ashewo Diko, Shehu Guso, what's it called? Peter Saidida, Christian Emerua, who else again is there? Those are the ones that are cleared right now. As the list continues, we'll see. What about David? Who is David? David, the one that killed Goliath. When you say David, call the full name, I know who you talk about. And then there's Jonathan Kobore as well. Okay, let's come back to YouTube people, my family people. So yesterday I was inducted into the YouTube University, and I sat with fellow people in the YouTube UK 360 campus, and we're all learning online. And it was good. It was a good time to learn, to realize that I'm not on the wrong track, and what I'm doing the right things. And a lot of people talking about sharing their experiences from across the globe, maybe people from all over the world, and then tell you that they are dealing with the same thing you're dealing with. You don't feel relaxed. Okay, even though I'm still very, very ambitious, you don't feel relaxed, like, okay, you're even making progress. I'm like, I have to, my goal is to reach 2,000 subscribers by the end of this year. How long have you been there? I've been doing for 5 years, and I get 10,000 and even invest. I beg. I'm okay with this one. Okay, David Doherty in the UK, make a contest for UK, make a contest for House of Commons. Make you forget us. It's a UK person. You do UK thing. Go and marry UK. Timothy, then boy, say I'm back. I hope your eyes are good now. Don't come and be putting your eyes here. Then tomorrow you start crying. Take cold water and wash your face. So, Oduni, Remileko, say good morning, boss. Good morning to you, Timothy. Then boy, he said I need PT in Basha. Chai. Many players leaving, no new additions, like you said a few weeks ago. Finidi came in at the wrong time. Still don't know how he can salvage this situation. He go walk away now. Like Craig David, he go walk away. There's nothing he can do. That's how he will end. But coaches are walking away. We wait a minute second so that he can collect money. And there's nothing Finidi George can do. Right now, this is the wrong time to be on Imba side. There's nothing. There's no money in the government coffers. There is nothing. IGR Ronaldo for the states with all the money will come, all the politicians are eating it, trying to survive, trying to plant their own people. And don't forget that next year's election year, so nobody will even focus on sports. Enyimba might. They will survive, but they're not relegate to, but you would end up the season with Enyimba being in the bottom half of the league. So just wait and see. There are not good days, there are not better days ahead for Enyimba right now. Nobody should be waiting on that one. Stephen Moses is saying, wow, but the streamful AG. Levels don't change. Growth is inevitable. Wow, this my brother. This is my brother Stephen Moses. But when somebody marry your sister and you come marry his sister back, that's what they call in Assemblies of God. We call it exchange of pupils, right? You cannot abuse this pupils because your pupils did that side too. They hold down. They think your church members go. So you have to respect yourself. So Stevie Moses, I salute you. I'll see you soon. Edijala Ufoma. So that name. That's strong name. Edijala Ufoma on Sunday. So a lot of you don't know what Edijala is. It's just Sunday, but when you call it Sunday, the name is watered down. But when you call it Edijala, that's like proper, like shift title name. It's like shift Okbubeku Edijala. Edijala Okwe. Reporting for Delta Broadcasting News. Remember that name? So, and see, today is Wednesday. I came to play. Don't forget that I'll soon be running to my school to go and teach my students. So, always not come and be too serious here. I think that Alpha say this last minute market is always risky. Aaron Wagner, he said, I wish Chelsea can join Fofana and Anthony's money and buy Rafael from AC Milan. AC Milan are not selling no, but you put those two money together, man, you just came up with a very good idea. You know that AC Milan will sell. Like, that money is big enough. It will solve all the problems in AC Milan. It will definitely sell. Shala FC, I see you. Good morning. Omar Akatuba, blood brother for life. Man, wonderful guy. How you doing? How's the family? Come, Omar. If I say that you drink vampire blood, though, because the last time I see your video, you now look like you're 17 years old. But I know I get a birth certificate for her, so let's not talk about. Let's Let's not talk your age now. Let's just keep you like you're Ahmed Musa. But you're not looking like 17. See, Omar, stop talking sports. Just go and warm up. It's just that you don't really savvy play ball too. But just go and warm up and sign 1 year contract. See, Omar, this will be the best advice I give you. Sign 1 year. If Nicolas Pepe will sign for Arsenal and you say savvy play ball past Nicolas Pepe, go and sign 1 year contract. The money we use that we go combine and we go be your manager. We'll combine. Use that to build 2 big media studio. We'll go beat Ropen Mudok. Just think about this advice, Omar. Think about it, because the way you call the look youngish, so we need to negotiate. We need to call some people to negotiate football for you. Well, let's come back to what we're talking about on YouTube. Adebola Oluwaseun for me say good morning, bro. Good morning. Sorry about Wesley Fofana. It's not true because Fabrizio Romano just tweeted that Chelsea is going back. How is it not true? Sometimes we don't get this thing. The fact that the conversation reawakened doesn't mean that yesterday's story is not true. Okay, it's true. Or the story in the morning, they've gone back. Have they signed the player? So how is it not true now? That's not how to put it. You say you heard from Fabrizio Romano, which I'm also seeing on my screen here, that they are going to go back. The reason why they are going back is that alternative choice is not working. Why we're going to stand in news reports, you will stay on the prevailing one, because in this conversation, Leicester are the selling club, and right now they have not accepted 70 million. They are not saying they are not going to sell. The conversation has never been we will not sell. Meet our price and collect the player. Shame, are you desperate? Meet our price and collect the player. If Chelsea say, okay, the 70 million we'll give, we now realize that we need 1 more, especially now when Koulibaly don't get red card and we're not seeing errors in the team, you go back and meet the price, okay? Like somebody said earlier, say this late night market, it will cause problem. And that's exactly what's happening. So you can't say it's not true, please. Olatunji Emmanuel is saying, good morning, boss. Good morning. Generally enjoying your show. I want to ask a question of Van Dijk. It seems like he doesn't put his body on the line. Example is the Man United game, many others. What do you think? So this conversation I've had with my brother. So about Van Dijk, Virgil van Dijk is a player that is the most overrated ever in football history. So let's talk about some great defenders from Franco Baresi up until now. The worst moment of Franco Baresi is still way better than the best moment of Virgil van Dijk. Nobody mentioned his name. The Ballon d'Or conversation. When Yapstam was at Manchester United, I don't know if you know what Yapstam, but when Yapstam was left PSV and went to Manchester United, and he played for Manchester United, his worst performance statistics-wise is still way better than Virgil van Dijk. Then you bring Rio Ferdinand. Then you bring in, I don't even want to mention John Terry, because first off, you mentioned John Terry in the same sentence with Virgil van Dijk. That's sacrilegious. That's disrespectful. That is saying because Steph Curry is doing all the things that he's doing. No. Let me not use Steph Curry, because Steph Curry have earned the right to be in the greatest of all time conversation. But let's just say because Chris Brown, who is a master tactician, he knows everything. He knows how to do graffiti, he knows how to dance, he knows how to sing, he knows how to write songs, he knows how to produce, he knows how to play basketball. Because you watch maybe Chris Brown in one basketball exhibition game, you not say he's on the same level with Michael Jordan. That's the kind of thing that if we're going to mention Virgil van Dijk and John Terry in the same sentence, that's the kind of feeling that I get. Or saying that Alex Iwobi is not on the same level with Ronaldinho. Okay, no disrespect to Alex Iwobi, I'm just using that as an illustration. But some deluded people woke up one morning and said that Virgil van Dijk deserved to win Ballon d'Or. And I said, it doesn't even deserve to be in the conversation for top 10. I said, it doesn't deserve to be on that list. But that's a topic for another day that other people will read. Nothing Virgil van Dijk is doing now that I've not seen before. What you've not noticed was the fact that every other team before this season have had players who covered up for him very well that made his job so easy. But this time around, the responsibility to defend has shown up. If you look at the goal that Sancho scored for Manchester United, let's be basic. Let's talk about primary school, youth sports, football. Your sis is on the floor, falling under the anointing. You put your 2 hands on the back, like somebody that wants to fight Damba in Kebbi State, and you're moving backward towards your goalkeeper. One, you're blinding your goalkeeper's sight of view, and you're making his reaction time very slow. When you talk about defending, the basic rule in defending is close up the opposition not to give him time to execute what he's thinking. Because how is football played? Football, your leg interprets what your brain is thinking. So for Janasako to do 360 degrees in slow motion, not in a donut style of a hot rod fast car, but in a trailer style, in slow motion, and you're still putting your hands behind your back like a bull that want to take off, and then you didn't move, that's ridiculous already. But hey, the hype man, I said is that some people just get by no matter what they do. I said Wenger in his days as Arsenal boss, Jurgen Klopp as the boss of Liverpool. Some people just get by. The press will always be nice to them. The press will always worship them. I don't know if their management or their agency, people like Virgil van Dijk also get by like that. When it gets a bad game, they put it on, oh, the injured players were not available. The pitch is too dry. This one, do those one. The referee was not good. People forget about it. The day you get one good game, make like 3 blocks, they would amplify it. I tell you that in the year 1672, this is how Franz Beckenbauer blocked a ball that was going to go. In the year 1420, this is how we've seen all this type of thing. Like if you really want to sell a player, you do all that. Like they did for Jack Grealish. I told all of you that Jack Grealish is rubbish, but they say he's the most fun player. But then the fun now, since that statistics. So for me, Virgil van Dijk is just, it's just somebody there. And Vicky said, Vincent Kompany, Vidic, and Ferdinand are better than Virgil van Dijk. I agree with you on that one. I don't even want to mention Paulo Maldini in this conversation because some people define the game and some people define a generation, other people define the game. For me, Paulo Maldini is the one that defines the game in terms of defending. So I don't even want to mention his name in this sector, not even Alexander Nesta or the short man, what's his name? Fabio Cannavaro. I don't want to mention all those people in this conversation because it will be very, very insulting to them. Mr. Smile said all he knows now is fine boy and switchboard to handle. I like these people. Eh? He said, I've always said he waits too much for Robertson and Co to recover. He's always using other people to work. So I think he say John Terry, Vidic, Ferdinand are better than Virgil van Dijk. I agree with you. No, let's not mention Lucho. Lucho is those ones are steep and deep. They are baptized in the act of defending, the fine act of defending. They understand it and they know how to defend very well. You're not going to mention Lucho and Virgil van Dijk the way they use Gregory Playboy. No, I'm not even going to have that conversation of Lucho and Virgil van Dijk for where. No. Okay, will I be happy? Say, please, how can you convince me Sonderlise is a good coach if till now he can get a good job and he still lost the low-class job he got? Was I trying to convince you that he's a good coach? Where did this foul spirit come from out of nowhere? I was never trying to convince you that he's a good coach. I said he's my all-time greatest Super Eagles player. As a coach, you have to prove yourself. He's not done that. Does he understand the game? Yes. I've sat with him, I've watched him. It's not by accident that FIFA put him in their technical study group. It's not by accident. As a coach, they're small. Like I always say, coaching is missing the act and science together. Football is just purely act. Just go there and perform. Coaching is science, and then with a little bit of act, and then marketing, branding, and all that put together. Sometimes a good coach, a very, very good coach, will lose everything because of their personality. Matteo Sama is a good coach, but personality was bad. When Ancelotti started, he had a bad personality, but was a good coach. He learned along the line. Jose Mourinho have a very crazy personality, but it's acting. For those people who work closely with Jose Mourinho, just like Zlatan Ibrahimovic, people think that thing that he says in the media, that's not Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Have you noticed that there's not a single player that have played with Zlatan Ibrahimovic that come out and said this about Zlatan or that about Zlatan? Zlatan is a guy who builds men, who puts people together. So sometimes you put this facade up there and say, you know what? I want to use this as a distraction to protect my people. That's what Mourinho does. So that's different. But then in coaching, sometimes some people know how to coach small children, but they can't coach superstars. Good example, Louis van Gaal. Some other coaches don't know how to work with small children. They don't have the time, the patience. Jose Mourinho, I find a way to balance both sides anyway. But a very good example is Fabio Capello. Fabio Capello is not the one that want to come and teach you how to play football. And then that's not his job. His job is know how to do the thing. Come in, I'm going to put you guys together, tell you what you don't know, put my brain in your head, or upgrade your software, so that you are able to do the game the way it should be done, and then you win. And I'm not interested in taking the glory or trying to be overtly all up in people's face. Some of that guys, what they know how to do very well is they have the charm. Branding coach. They are tactically astute. They know how to read your position. But what they do is they use their charm to attract. You see boys going to the gym. What are they going there to do? To get six-pack. What does six-pack do? You don't have money, you need to have six-pack. To find the balance, right? If you have money or you have a thriving business that gives you a name that puts you there, you must like six-pack is a luxury. Like, okay, I want to do it for the fun of it, not because of anything. But most time, but you got to go like they carry iron every day. Where they carry go? Not because some people don't how you hockey. So people like Pep Guardiola, they are the science, art, and brand coaches, right? Their personality we want to make you play for them. Their name, their history, their profile, and everything. But then when you come to them, you now realize that there is still a whole lot of hard work you need to do when you work with them. Same with Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho make you know from the get-go that, look, I come to you, we're going to work. Antonio Conte does not have the brand. Thomas Tuchel does not have the brand. But hey, you want to work with me? We'll die here. Antonio Conte, we'll die here. We will work and work and work. So there are different coaches. Olise, why you can't judge Olise, and follow me on this. There is no other person that have broken this record. As an African, and you're black, you're not expected to be a leading coach in Europe because it would defy the narrative that they've created about us. Because if they go give you that chance, give you the support, and you excel, you would have broken the narrative that they say Africans are not intelligent, because it takes being intelligent to be a coach. But if you sit here and you want to shred Olise, be my guest. That's your thing. Because from the way you put your comment, there is a whole lot of bad blood that I don't know where it comes from. But try and understand, if you can point to me 10 or 5 non-European black people that have been given coaching job at the very top level and they stay consistently on the job, then I'll be fine with you. There was a Nigerian who coached one team and won the league in backwaters of Europe. The next season, what did they do? They fired him. They asked him to go and be a under 17 coach for the same team where he won the league with. That's how it works, okay? So it's a narrative that is out there. Even people like them, Patrick Vieira, that gets a few opportunity to coach, they are hanging on the scuff of their neck, like we die here. Now think about it. Vieira, Henry, Arteta applied for Arsenal's job at the time. Arteta got the job. At a year now. So being a black man it's a terrible thing. I'm not saying that every black man deserves to be on the job. That's not what I'm saying. But you cannot also convince me that every black man who's got the badge as a coach does not have the right to be a coach. No. They use us as water carriers. They use us as backup. When even in Africa here, we can't trust our coaches to coach. We can't give them the kind of support they need. We can't push them the best way we can. Remember when we did the film house with Iguavon, and at that time, we didn't even know he was going to get the Super Eagles coaching job. Ron was still coasting. I was still on the job. Eventually, when we released the video, everybody was excited about it. Everybody was happy about it. Over 70,000 views. But guess what? When the Iguavon lost, everybody was on me. Oh, I'm the one that made the NFF play. I said, what rubbish? That's who we are. So if we're doing our own like that, you think it's the Europeans that will not go and put you there. So I can't blame Olise. You can't blame a coach for not getting a job or not getting an opportunity. I can't blame him. So if you're angry with him, I think your anger is in the wrong direction, because he didn't get a job on the European team. He said he can't coach in Africa, because if you go watch the podcast we had, he said coaching Nigeria and coaching in Europe is different. And it's true. When I worked in my former place of work, I was a sports analyst. I went to the World Cup and I introduced myself as a sports analyst, and they all laughed at me like the IBC, the International Broadcast Center, was a very big place in Rio, very, very big, like it was a big place, like the Expo Center in Dubai. Everybody laughed at me, and I didn't understand why they were laughing. And Martin Tyler excused me. I said, young man, you can't be a sports analyst. Like, that doesn't work. There's no such thing as a sports analyst. You are a football analyst, you're a boxing analyst, and that. And I realized that, whoa. I got it wrong, right? I can't really be a sports analyst. But where I used to work, if boxing happened, you must talk with the same knowledge, the same power that you talk about football. When it happened for wrestling, you must also know all of the key words. And then if it happened in swimming too, you should know what Michael Phelps have done, whether it's backstroke, front stroke, whether it's synchronized swimming and all that. which is wrong. But hey, it's the environment where we come from. When you now go to Europe and you now see that, Sky Sports, the guy who is talking football, you will never see him on the microphone when they're talking Anthony Joshua and Usyk. Have you ever seen Carragher and the rest talk about Anthony Joshua and Usyk? In Nigeria, not be the same person when they report the Premier League to you, not be the report Anthony Joshua to you, not be the same person they report, analyze swimming and Formula 1 and the rest of you. So it's different. It's different. Don't judge Olise by that. If you do that, you're practically trying to judge a monkey by his inability to swim. That doesn't work. It doesn't make sense. I'm not holding brief for Olise, but I think that we should show respect for people who deserve it. Those who don't deserve it, no problem. But if you have a personal beef with him, bro, this is not the show. Go sort it out with yourself, man. Oduni Remeleko, he said, I think clubs should find a new style to suit his new front forward. I don't think they are that bad. I also don't think they're that bad, but I think it's a question of the whole team. It's not even the forward itself. The forward are still very good, but I think that the midfield is not working very well, and it's affecting how Trent Alexander-Arnold and Robert Singo forward. So tactically, before now, when they go forward, those midfielders will cover the space and make it stable for them, even if they lose the ball and then they're coming back. But this time around, that doesn't work because the midfield in itself, when there's no consistency in the midfield, Elliott is just trying to step up to the plate, and then he's playing with, today he plays with this person, tomorrow he plays with that. I mean, how many teams in what football will play Miller and Anderson in the same time? Will then have Elliott to back them up. That's one of the things. Once the midfield, that's it, says things fall apart and the center cannot hold. The midfield is the center. Once the midfield is not good, it's hard to pin everything together. But I just hope that they get it right, because I like to see Liverpool pressure the rest of the team to get to the top. Just making it a stroll, it's not good. But if that stroll is going to be for Arsenal to win it, please, Liverpool, no improve. Let's have a stroll. Leicester are not angry that they won the league title, so we will not be angry if we won it. If we win it, sorry. Ola be happy. Say good morning, big bro. Chelsea is spoil my mood of late, but can you tell me what you think is the problem? There's not really a problem. You have a new owner, and you guys have been sport silly for so many years, 19 years or 20 years to be exact. And now, when you take over a business, you go back again, put it on a spreadsheet. Don't forget that when Bolly bought this club, he thought that Mariana will stay for 1 year, Buck will stay for 1 year. But then they decide that we're going to stay loyal to Roman Abramovich. I also respect that because of the way the club was taken from Roman Abramovich. They needed to stay loyal. You can't be working with the enemy. I mean, it's double agency. Okay. Now the man has to bring in everything. The way football business is done, sports business is done in America is different from how it's done in Europe. So you're not going to take some time to study it. Don't forget that this is an emergency sales, emergency purchase, and this whole thing happened faster than you could think. So the man is trying to settle in. He's not happy that he invested 4.7 billion in this business and things are going like this. I know that if things don't go wrong, don't go well, France will not come again and say they want to protest, because that's a British way. See, one size fits all. But I think Chelsea fans should be patient and watch how it goes. Okay, this season might not be the best, but Chelsea will not be relegated. Then next season, they would have had time to learn and understand the European football market system, how it works, establish contact and the rest. Because truth be told, if you don't have my phone number on your phone, if I call you, you might not pick my call. But somebody else who you have their number call you, you pick it. Relationship is very, very important in football. It's just like our work. When we try to interview people, the people who don't know you will not grant you interview. They don't care. But then you call somebody who say, yeah, I'll be on your show. Like tomorrow now, I have a guy in Brazil. I met him in 2014. So it's easy for me to call him and say, I want us to talk about Brazilian players, the World Cup and all that. So, okay, but my English is not good. I said, don't worry. I just want us to talk about it. But I've been trying to get Fabrizio Romano to talk to me since. He does not know me, not owe me anything. He doesn't owe me. That collaboration might not work. Just the same way I spent 4 years trying to get Peter Drury. I just realized that I'm chasing the ghost. Keep telling me, fill this form, apply this one, do this one. I jumped through all the hoops that the guy gave me, and it's not working. It's nothing I'm going to do. So it's the same thing with Bolly. You guys need to be patient. Because you're a billionaire does not mean everybody knows you. If Bolly not buy Chelsea before, let's be very honest now. Take your mind 1 year back. If Bolly not buy Chelsea before, I know who Bolly be. Nobody know who he is, but he's still a billionaire. So it's just like the owners of Walmart, 450 billion in one place, but nobody know them. So it's just the way it is. That there's nothing. No, it's not a problem. It's a process. Instead of seeing it as a problem, see it as a process. That's just the way I would like to put it. And this other might say, you are just breaking tables that refuse to break. Okay, they want to run football for their selfish personal gains. No 1 month plan, not to talk of 10 years, not 10 years for Nigerian football. 10 years. Who they're not got 10 years plan for their whole life. You talk of say 10 years for Nigerian football. Who did Gwen Marcos? Hey, my show guy, how are you? On to Emmanuel, he said, boss, please, can you explain what you mean by the second half of the Liverpool game wasn't as good as people say United were? As I think they were quite solid. Well, that's what you think, but that's not what I think. The first half, Manchester United outran Liverpool. Okay, so let me explain it with the Leeds United Chelsea. Leeds United started the game on 100 miles per hour speed, and all the substitutions were balanced. They made the team even better. But for Man United, when they removed, first off, it was Elanga that went out and Macha came in. Macha was technically good. I mean, he helped to create the second goal. But the speed dropped. And that's how Liverpool now moved from defending to pressing. And then when Cristiano Ronaldo came in, thank God he came in very, very late. The team now shuffled into a box. People will say they wanted to contain Liverpool. You can't be trying to contain a team that you are supposed to be dominating. So the speed dropped in the second half. The tempo of the game dropped in the second half because Liverpool started gaining advantage. The Scott McTominay and the rest of them were not slow. Fred came in. It was also turning over possession unnecessarily. They were not using the width of the field like they were using because that won't work for Liverpool. Play the ball in the middle. It's an advantage for them. They don't need to walk very much. Anderson and Mena, who are old, don't need to run very much. But if you spread the ball wide, then they'll struggle because that would take Anderson and Robinson out of their position, trying to chase the ball and trying to defend, or probably trying to chase the ball. And then any mistake, you cut the ball into the middle where Vanaken is probably like blind man in the dark, couldn't defend to save his life. And then you score more goals. And don't forget that, they hit the post, they hit the woodwork, they missed a few chances here and there. But Liverpool could also have coming into that game, and the game would have ended 2-2, and all of this glorious conversation around Manchester United resurrection or resurgence or running 8.5 miles would have gone to waste. So I don't think that Manchester United were good in the second half like they were in the first half. But owing to the fact that they lost 2 games to Brentford and Brighton and Hove, and then coming to win this game against Liverpool, the famed title contenders after the Community Shield, you would say, okay, they did well. But tactically, let's analyze the game tactically. The second half was not a representation of what the first half was. For Leeds United, the first half and the second half were all the same. They've just done the job, and they knew if Leeds United needed to score another goal, they would have gotten that goal because Chelsea were not in the race, and they were pressing Chelsea so much so that Chelsea could not even compose themselves enough to pull 4 or 5 passes together at any given time. That's what you call making sure that the opposition's tactics is confused. You destabilize them, and then it's called the element of surprise, okay, in warfare. And then you impose your own on them to a point where they can't get it. Jorginho came out and said that they couldn't get in their reading. They just couldn't find their harmony, their reading, and they couldn't find their center, and that's how the game ended. Okay, so let's go further down the road and see what somebody else has got to say. Akande Michael, he says, do you think Liverpool would miss Salah more if he had been let go instead of Mane? Who would you pick between the two, Salah and Mane? No, I'm not going to pick between the two. The two of them are very good players. They're very pivotal to the team. I think that Liverpool management made a mistake. The mistake was that to say to them, we're not going to be able to pay you. We're not going to be able to sustain it if we pay you to 400,000 pounds because the issue was money. It's not like Mane wants to go and experience Bundesliga. The issue was money. You can't be paying me 150,000 when some other people are earning way more. Aubameyang was earning 350 for doing nothing. Absolutely nothing. So this is what I want. Just tell them that, look, we can afford to pay you to 300, which is 600, and then we will not sign that one on this. There's no need for him. So his salary, everything just matches up better. And then they try to look for young players that used to mix up the midfield. It will be good because it's a turbo engine plane. You have to find the balance. But now that you've lost money, it will take some time for the new players to come in. The club is not turning into a bad coach overnight. It will take some time. That time is what the fans don't have, but unfortunately, they need to have it. Whether they like it or not, they need to have it. I don't want to pick and choose. The work rate of Mane is good, but it doesn't have the consistent goals of Salah and the trickery of Salah in some places. And it's like Dennis Beckham and Thierry Henry, Dennis Beckham and Wright. One runs like a fool, but he scores a lot of goals. One will play the game at a trekking distance, but it is his trekking that releases the space for that one to run like a rabbit or like a fool. It's like Babatov and Tevez and Cristiano Ronaldo back in the day as well. All of these people played well to make Cristiano Ronaldo have it on the plate, or Karim Benzema and Cristiano Ronaldo. So you're not going to choose one over the other, but you're right to say that they both complement each other. But these days, I know football fans always like to compare people. Oh, it's a competition. No, it's not always a competition. Like I always say that not every argument ends with I am right and you're wrong. Two truths can stand on two opposing sides and they are truth on their own. You're seeing 6 and I'm seeing 9, and it's a fact because it's about perspective and position of standing. I don't think that Mo Salah and Mane needed to say pick one out of the two because the greatness of Liverpool under Klopp was built around these two players. They did complement each other very well. Robbie Perez didn't score the goals that Henry scored, but you know that without Perez too, maybe Henry would have scored the goals that he scored. Not ask me to pick between one of them. I won't do that. But what I'll be happy, he said Polaibogu improvement in his current club. How do you rate his coaching career? No, I'm not going to read that. Don't put me in that spot. How many matches has he coached the team? What is he doing there? That's not how you judge improvement. That man, let's not have that conversation. Adebola Oluwa say, okay, sir, thank you very much for your correction. He said, Patrick, he said, good morning from here. Them don't use us, can't score. So Liverpool, I tell you that, I say they will beat tonight. Aaron Wagner said Chelsea are in the Rafael Leao, and I think Chelsea should use the money for Gordon and Fofana for him because we don't have defense problem but attack. And I agree with you 100%. Like I said earlier on, I agree with you 100%. I think that Chelsea should get an attacker. They don't have an attack. The Chelsea team, they can play a Man City first line with the players that they have. So they should get a striker who have this hunger for goal, whose primary thinking is when I get the ball, I'm putting it in the old onion bag. They don't have that. All I'll be happy say, just want to see Nigerian coaches doing well, both home and abroad. I was following him and was supporting him. I guess you're supporting him, that's what you want to say. Despite his loss, hoping he changed things around, but was surprised to see him jobless. But the way you put it, first off, your comment was very rude. Was very, very rude. That's not what a supporter does for somebody that they are supporting. That was, thank God you don't fail. I don't have evidence to say you are not good. That's not how you support people. When you support people, you stick by them. And you find that reason why things are happening like that. You can't find African players, ex-players, African coaches at the very top. What's it called? Pizzo Mesomane did way better than a lot of European coaches. Where is he? He's in Qatar. Why are they not employing him to go and coach in any of these teams that are playing in the Premier League? You think he cannot coach? Or you think if he goes there, he does not know how to speak the football language? But he's an African. Nobody's going to give him that chance to come and now show that he's better. The same people that killed Princess Diana because he was trying to get pregnant for Dodi Afia. Are you kidding me? See, let's not get too civilized that we forget the people who colonized us. And the colonization was not an English word. They enslaved us. They killed our parents. Let's not forget all this conversation because we're getting too civilized and we're forgetting some of the real issues here. Okay? Nobody's going to. That's why when people think that, Igbo will come and fix Nigeria one day, and they look at the laugh. And they look who are not talk. I just look at the laugh. As a Patrick said, until Africans begin to develop Africa for Africans, the Europeans will never value us. Check it out. Ola Be Happy said, cheers to our Nigerian sportsmen and women out there doing Nigeria proud. I believe the future is bright. Thank you very much. Chelsea fans, calm down. Okay, I think it's time for me to go, but if I go and leave all these plenty comments that people put here, that will beat me. Grassroots updates will not come to do because I'm going to school and I need to leave. Divine Tokai said, I'm happy with Iwobi's new face. I believe there's still more to come from him. I pray. Well, okay, maybe we should have the grassroots sports updates as we prepare to go to school. But right now, let me leave and say massive thank you to everybody who's contributed on the show today. It's been a very, very good one in terms of conversation and the rest. But please don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. I mean, help us to grow because our growth is what will keep us going. As if we don't grow, at some point we'll decide to pull the plug and I'll go and work for Dangote Refinery. It's not far. It's down the road there. I just drive down, enter work, put suit and tie, and be managing one department. I'll be engineer that year. Now don't forget. I feel be supervisor, something like that. I feel be head of communications in the refinery too. I feel be head of sales. I feel also buy one diesel truck. They go load truck, they supply people. I can supply enough on our office. So if you want this program to keep going, Tell your friends to tell their friends to tell their friends, and even use it to settle quarrel between their enemies. To subscribe to the channel. That's all I'm going to say. My name is Edafi Manchester. You love to come to the local sport. It's been a wonderful time. Thank you, and God bless you. Don't forget, tomorrow is Anything Goes. Like I said in my YouTube short, if you've seen it, somebody sent me a long mail and said that we should bring in a little adjustment to the show. And the adjustment is that on a Thursday, and then we're not starting tomorrow, when I come back, they will send me on an errand. So different people will tell me the task that they want me to do. It could be 50 push-up. God, 50 push-up. Another. It could be anything. It could be go on the road, video yourself, buying and eating corn or eating roadside. No, roadside food, they give typhoid. But anyhow, I just, some tasks that I can do, and then I'll record it and I'll upload it, and then you guys will be the judge. So I'm considering it. Tell me what you think. If you think we should introduce it, so that Thursday will be the day where we decide what task I do, and I have 1 week to upload it. Right, it's your call. Once again, my name is Edafi Manchester. You love to come in the on sports. For those of you on Instagram, those of you on YouTube, and those of you who send message on WhatsApp, thank you very much. And those who listen on www.legotatv.com, as well as the app, the mobile application on your Android device, Legota TV Radio. God bless you and have yourself a wonderful day. Bye-bye.